Hello, and welcome once again to Yoga for Kids and Their Adults. My name's Tony. I am here at Me Time LLC, a massage and yoga studio here in Troy, Alabama. This program is sponsored in part by the Charles Henderson Child Health Center. They are a pediatric physician and dental office taking care of children from birth to age 19. They fund this program through a grant that they received from the Children's Trust Fund, whose purpose is to prevent child abuse and neglect. So, welcome once again. We are still in the wonderful month of October, celebrating breast cancer awareness. Last week, we celebrated being warriors and all of the strong, fierce poses in honor of those facing that terrible disease. Today, we are going to focus more on balance. So today, we are balanced. So for today, what you're going to need is you're going to need a nice clear space where you're not going to hit things if you try to wiggle or wobble or even if you fall down. Balance can sometimes make people a little off balance. So make sure that you have, space to accommodate. I'm also going to suggest that you have a yoga mat or a blanket or a towel or something to kind of cushion your feet as you're standing there. Something that also helps make sure that you're not going to slip. And if you are a little not balanced, if you have a yoga block, that's great. If not, you can use a can of vegetables. You can use a big family can of soup. You can also use a big, thick, firm, hardcover book. Or if you don't have any of that, you can just bring a chair or some piece of furniture that you can use to help hold you steady as we try to balance. So, once you have all those things together, we're going to start by setting our intention to showcase our balance, our balance. So take a deep breath. If you want, you can put your hands in prayer at heart center. You can close your eyes and take 3 deep, slow, full-bodied belly breaths. And think to yourself, I am balanced. I am balanced. I am balanced. How are you feeling? A little bit more level? Awesome. So, to kind of tie our body together with our breath, we're going to start off with just a couple of different breathing movements, and then we're going to go into our balance postures for yoga. All right, so we're going to start off in our mountain pose. And that is our feet are under our hips. Our knees are slightly bent so that they're over the arches in our feet. Our hips are tucked under. Shoulders are back over our hips. Ears over the shoulders. Arms at our side. Okay, and this is what we're going to come back to after each balance pose so we can kind of reestablish what normal balance feels like, okay? So take a moment, close your eyes, feel how well balanced and stable this posture feels. Can you feel that? You're not wibbling, you're not wobbling, you're not gonna fall. It's a nice, balanced posture. Now we're gonna add to that those breathing movements, okay? So we're gonna inhale, bringing our hands up overhead, reaching up towards the sky, shoulders down away from our ears. Exhale, let your hands float to your sides. So we're gonna do it 2 more times. Okay, so inhale, bringing your hands up overhead, leaving your shoulders down. Don't let your shoulders swallow your head. Exhale, let your hands float down to your sides. Nice little float. If you want, imagine your hands are leaves on the wind floating down to the ground. Last time, inhale, bring your hands up overhead like you're reaching for the sky. And then exhale, let your hands float down to your side. Let's make some bigger breath movements, okay? Breathe in, arms up overhead. This time as we breathe out, bring your hands all the way down to the floor. Stay here for 3 breaths. And then bend your knees forward and roll up with an inhale, bringing your hands up overhead. Exhale, go all the way down to the floor. 3 breaths. And then bend your knees forward. Inhale, bring your hands up overhead. Last time. Exhale, down to the floor. 3 breaths here. And then bend your knees forward, roll yourself back up, and roll your shoulders out. Okay, good. So we've got some practice moving with our breathing. We have some good balance and good stability. Okay, so now let's try some simple balance postures. Now, if your balance, right off the bat that it's not really that great, go ahead and grab a chair or hold on to something. Everybody has a wall if you need to hold on to the wall for some stability. Okay, so if you need to move over to the wall to hold on to, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so from a mountain pose, we're just going to shift our weight over to our left foot and lift your right foot. This is just getting you ready for some more advanced balance postures. Just see how well you can balance with that right foot just an inch off the ground. And you can probably feel your left foot kind of wibbling and wobbling, keeping you stable. One more breath. And then go ahead and lower that right foot. Go back into your mountain pose. Go ahead and shake out your left foot if you need to. Just getting ready for some of those bigger balance postures, okay? Let's try the same thing, only over to the opposite side. So shift your weight over to your right foot, and then just lift your left foot. Even if it's just an inch off the floor, that's enough to get your balance working. This is activating those neurons in your brain, all those wonderful centers of body movement. One more breath, and then bring your foot back down. You are activating all those neurons, all those neural pathways to make sure that you can use your balance for this routine. Okay? So now we're going to try a modified tree pose. Okay? Again, we're building up to some balance postures. So we've already tried just one foot up. This time, when you shift your weight to your left, not only are you going to lift your foot, you're going to turn your knee out and keep your toes on the ground with the flat of your foot against your inner ankle. All right, so this is just a simple modification of the tree pose. If you feel like you need more challenge, you can bring your hands to prayer at heart center here. And we're going to hold this for about 5 breaths. You should be about on your second or third breath now. 3. It helps sometimes to look down about 45 degrees, like right in front of you on the floor, and just hold that spot in your vision. It helps for some reason, for most people, to keep their balance a little bit better. Okay, so that's 5 breaths. Go ahead and bring your knee forward and plant your foot back down in mountain pose. Go ahead and shake out your left foot. You're probably feeling a little stress in your knee, stress in your ankle, and stress in your foot right now. And that's to be expected because you're using your leg for balance. Okay, we're going to do that same modified tree pose on the opposite side now. Because if you do something to one side, you have to balance it out by doing it to the other side too. See, balance is everywhere. Go ahead and take a breath. Shift your weight over to your right foot. Bend that left knee. Bring the flat of your foot to the inner ankle of your right leg. Make sure your knee's pointing out to the side. This is your nice modified tree pose. All right, again, if you need just a little bit more challenge, you can bring your hands to prayer at heart center here. And look down at a point in the floor to help you keep your focus. Just keep breathing. There's a couple more breaths here. 2, 1. And then go ahead and bring that knee forward, step your foot down, and shake out that right foot. That's a lot. Go ahead and shake out both of your legs. Whenever you're doing some kind of balance pose, most people think of it as like a one-legged pose, but let me introduce you to a couple of poses that involve both feet on the floor, okay? So go ahead and bring your feet together. Okay, you're gonna feel this here in your hips if you're a lady. If you're not a lady and you're a gentleman, all right, you might feel it in your knees or your ankles. All right, so you're gonna hold your feet here, and already you can kind of feel that vague instability there. All right, bring your hands up overhead, bring your palms together, and as you exhale, lean to your left, bringing your hips out to your right. This is a crescent pose. Now, most people identify this as a stretch pose, and that's correct. But it's also a balance pose. It's an amazing way to get those neurons firing to keep your torso straight and your body upright. One more breath, and then inhale all the way up. Exhale over to the right, bringing your hips to your left, making your body into the C of a crescent moon. Can you feel the balance? Can you feel your body struggle trying to keep yourself upright? Wonderful. It's those minute, small, teeny tiny little movements that keep you from falling over. One more breath, and then inhale, hands up to the sky. Exhale, go ahead and bring your hands down to the ground. Again, since your feet are together, this is still a balance posture. Okay, so we're going to stay here for about 3 to 5 breaths. And then when you're ready, bend your knees forward and roll your back up, finishing off with a nice little shoulder roll at the top. You doing okay so far? Now, if ever there's anything that we're doing that you're not quite comfortable with, it's okay to back it down a notch, okay? So if keeping your feet together is a little bit too strenuous, you're always welcome to separate them a little bit and make yourself a little bit more stable. Okay, so we've done a modified tree pose, we've done a foot lift, we've done the crescent. Did you know there's even balance postures when you're on all fours? Oh my goodness, let's go ahead and down on the ground. On your hands and knees. And now, to make this into a balance pose, what you're going to do is you're going to reach your left arm out in front of you and reach your right leg back behind you. And this makes you cross-body balance. It's an amazing thing to help your body coordinate all those little bitty muscles and movements so that you can maintain your balance while you're here. One more breath, and then go ahead and bring your left arm and right leg in. And if you need a little restoration or a little bit of neutralization, go ahead and arch your back up by tucking your tail under and letting your head fall. And then breathe in as you let your spine sink, your hips turn up, and you look up towards the sky. This is that cat-cow combination. Helps unstiffen your back if you're feeling a little stiff. So exhale up into the cat. Inhale down into the cow. Exhale up into the cat, arching your back, tucking your tail under. Inhale, sinking your spine, lifting your hips, and lifting your head. All right, now if you're still a little stiff, go ahead and wiggle your hips back and forth a little bit. And when you're ready, come back to your nice tabletop, and you're going to extend your right arm out in front of you and your left leg back behind you. Feel how stable and strong you can make this feel. Now, if you're a little wibbly and wobbly, that's okay. Just do what you can. And if you have to put your hand down or your foot down for a moment, that's okay. Just pick back up whenever you can. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring your hand and your knee down. Let's do some more of those cat-cows, okay? So inhale, sink down, lift your head and your hips up. Exhale, bring your spine up, head down, and tuck your tail. Back again. Sink your spine, breathe in, lift your hips and your head into cow. And then exhale, arching your spine up, tucking your tail down, and dropping your head. Do that one more time. Inhale down to cow. Exhale up to cat. And wonderful. Now, another way you can have a balanced posture with more than just one limb on the ground is to do a twist. So from here, go ahead and move your hands over to the left of your mat and bring your right foot up next to your hands. Now you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch here in your hip and your hamstring. If it's too much, that's okay. You can always keep this back knee down, or you can back your right foot up, okay? If you can make it level with your hands, that's kind of the goal. Now, to make this more of a balance-intensive posture, go ahead and tuck your left toes under and lift up into a nice runner's lunge. And then, with your middle hand here, your right hand, twist that up towards the sky. And you're balancing. That's 3 limbs on the ground, and it's still a balanced pose. One more breath. And then turn your hand back down. Bring that right foot back to your left. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. And see if you can bring your left foot up towards your hands. Now, if you need a little assistance like I did, it's okay to let your knee down so you can bring your foot where it needs to be. And then just lift your back leg up again. When you're ready, lift that middle hand, your left hand, up towards the sky. And you're balancing. This is a fantastic pose to stretch your inner thigh, your outer hip, and even into your hamstrings. But also to balance. One more breath. Bring your hand down. Bring your foot back and bend your knees down. One more cat and cow combination as I'm losing my little hair thing here. So breathe in, sink down, lift your hips and head up. Breathe out, tuck your tail down, bring your spine up, drop your head. So inhale, down to cow. Exhale, up to cat. One more time. Inhale, down to cow. Exhale, up to cat. Wonderful. Go ahead and push yourself back into hero's pose, which is basically just a high kneeling posture. And then we're going to get into a big balance pose. Are you ready for the challenge? Awesome. So come on up to your feet again. And grab your book or your can or your chair or even the wall. In fact, if you're not used to doing big balance postures, you might want to be right next to a wall for stability. So we're going to do 2 big balance postures, okay? One on each side. First, without the block, we're going to turn to the right, have a nice wide stance, bend that front knee, and this is going to get your hips pointing in that direction of that front leg. Bring your arms up overhead. This is a Warrior 1 posture, and this is going to get us ready for Warrior 3. That's the Superman pose. So for that, you're going to bend this back knee and push forward to balance on your right leg. And again, if you need to reach back to the wall for stability, you can. Or just balance like Superman. One more breath, and then bring that back foot back, arms up. Bring your hands down, face the front, and go ahead and reach for the floor. How was that? Was that a big balance posture? Were you able to handle it? I think you did fantastic. One more breath, and then bend your knees up. Bend your knees, and lift your body up. And we're going to turn to the left this time. Both feet are facing about the same direction. Back foot can be out just a little bit. You're going to bend that front knee. Your hips are facing that front knee. Your arms are going to be up overhead. And this is Warrior 1. This is preparing you for Warrior 3. You ready? You're going to bend that back leg and push until you can balance like Superman. Imagine you're flying through the sky. Woo, hi everybody. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath, and then let that back foot back, arms up, turn to the front, and arms down to the ground. So that was one of the big balance postures. The next one is called the half moon pose. Go ahead and bend your knees, bring your body upright. To get into the half moon pose, this is where the can or the block or the book comes in really handy. So, we're going to start off going to our right. So put your block in your right hand, okay? Toes are going to face the right side. Nice wide stance here. Back foot facing front. Right foot facing to the right. And you're going to bring your arms level with the ground. Almost like star pose. Are you there? Are you ready? Lean forward until you can't lean any further, and then drop your block right there on the ground, bringing your left hand up to the sky, looking up to your hand. This is triangle pose. This is a preparatory pose for the half moon. Okay, once you feel good and stable here, because this is also a balance pose, you're going to lift up onto that right leg, bring that right hand out a little further, lifting the back leg up off the ground, and if you can, look up to that left hand. Whew, that's a big balance. Even I can wibble and wobble on this one. One more breath, and then bring that back foot down again, back to triangle pose. And then all the way up, cartwheel up, and swap hands with your block. Okay? I'm going to scoot a little bit this way so I'm not out of screen here. Arms level with the ground, left foot out, right foot kind of at an angle. Arms level with the ground. Lean to the left. When you can't lean any further, bring that hand down to the ground, right hand up to the sky, and look up to your right hand. This is triangle pose, or Trikonasana. This is the preparation for the half moon. So again, if you are struggling with the balance poses, you can always, always, always go and have your back to the wall for stability. In fact, this is what that might look like. And then when you're ready to try that half moon, just lift up on that left leg, bring that left hand a little forward. You can lean against that wall if you need to, so you can look up to your right hand with your right leg level with the ground. How you doing? Are you balancing? I knew you could, because we are level and balanced. One more breath, and then bring that back foot down, your hand over by your foot, back to triangle, and then cartwheel yourself up, toes pointing to the front, and go ahead and bring your hands down to the ground. Wonderful. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then bend your knees and roll your back up, rolling your shoulders at the top. So to finish out our balanced routine, let's go ahead and come down to the ground where we can feel stable. So all the way down. Now I'm going to go into the bound angle posture because this is most comfortable for me. For you, if you want to get into lotus pose or easy pose or half lotus pose, lotus pose is when both feet are up on top. That's perfectly fine. Whatever you are comfortable with, this is all about bringing the energy back down and recovering from that, the balance poses. So once you feel stable, I encourage you to close your eyes. We're going to take 3 more full, deep, full body belly breaths. And on the exhale, I want you to think to yourself, I am balanced. I am balanced. I am balanced. How do you feel? Do you feel level, calm, dare I say, balanced? I'm proud of you for sticking it with me today. That was a whole bunch of big balanced postures, so you're probably going to feel that in your legs and your hips tomorrow. But you continue practicing this every day, and you'll get better and stronger and more balanced with every preceding effort. So thank you very much for joining me for today's We Are Balanced routine. I thank you for spending time with me and for participating with me. And my name is Tony. I'm here at Me Time LLC, a massage and yoga studio here in Troy, Alabama. This program is sponsored in part by the Charles Henderson Child Health Center. They are a pediatric physician and dental office taking care of children from birth to age 19. They fund this program through a grant that they receive from the Children's Trust Fund. So thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you, I honor you, and I welcome you back next week. Until then, be kind to yourself and others, and remember to be aware of others who have suffered that breast cancer awareness here. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.